Looks like Zoom's going to cooperate today. That's always a bonus. All right. Looks like we're live. Let me pull it up. Yep. As you drop in here, let us know you're here. Say, hey, Nick. Hey, Justin. Ooh, a lot of viewers here from the beginning. Awesome.
We got a good one for you today.
We're going to jam on getting social proof. And every time we talk, it's changed my perspective a little bit or opens my eyes a little bit. And you see how easy it is to think we've gotten effective social proof, right? Like good social proof. And then realize that we're really just getting people to say nice things about us, which is not effective social proof at all. So we'll still waiting for people to drop in here. And Lily, I'm going to tag some people, going to send notification. Cool. So first of all, welcome. If you are new to this group, we're getting about between 5 and 10 people a day, just kind of creeping in. If you're new to this group, the primary focus of this group, it's called Profit and Productivity, is to identify the things that are going to make you more profitable and more productive. And when I say productive, I don't mean do more stuff. It is a process. Just semantics here. When we talk about productivity, it is about building things in a way that everything you do, whether you choose to work an hour a day or 15 hours a day, every resource you utilize, every move you make, every dollar you spend is getting you closer to the life that you want. Big difference between getting you closer to a big revenue number, right? So I want to point that out. And part of that, it's a process of identifying the limit to getting to the life that you want and identifying the limit, removing the limit, building the systems and operations around it, and increasing the conversion at every step, whether that be from webinar to phone call or phone call to client or client to lifelong client or lifelong client to lifelong referrer and raving fan. There's a process for identifying the limit and removing it. One of the best ways to do that, which Justin articulates so well and teaches a killer class on it, which I think we'll talk about at the end here, is telling stories and getting your clients to tell stories that help your prospects understand whether or not they are a good fit, whether or not they should watch your webinar, whether or not they should get on the phone with you, whether or not they should give you their money. And I think the biggest hang up, I just had an office day with somebody that already has raving fans, huge audience. I think he made one announcement on Instagram and sold out an event, a 50-person event at $5,000. So he's already got an audience. And one of the things that's really cool, and we want to scale this. How do we do this more often? I realized, even though he's got all these raving fans, he does not have any testimonials, no social proof. So it's all like fans of his personality, right? Or whatever his aspirational marketing. And he starts telling me, I have this client that said this. He's got American Express as a client. So I got this client that said this, and he's sharing all these wins. And we're just sitting around the table, me, Jeff, and Tim, like, why do you not have these stories out there? Because, I want to, but I don't want to be that guy. Somebody just asked me for social proof before they got results for me. Mm-hmm. And I just don't want to be that guy. And there's this huge aversion for real service providers. Like, real service providers have a really hard time collecting social proof. They have a really hard time asking for it. They don't know if it's appropriate. They don't know how to ask for it. And so perfect timing, because I think Justin today is going to talk about 3 simple ways to get more testimonials, more case studies, more social proof. And as always, in a way that utilizes the psychology and our internal biases that get people to actually buy stuff from us, become clients, become raving fans. So as you get in here, drop a comment to how to Justin. And Justin, I'll let you start jamming on the ways we can get social proof without feeling like we're being pushy or scammy or just dirty people.
Well, I think there's two ways. So we're going to share the three like simple ways to get more testimonials, but it sounds like the person you were talking to has gone through that experience of being on the receiving end of that request and it not feeling authentic or honest or transparent, and feeling more like, hey, can I turn you into a sales machine or sales vehicle for my business? Not, which we'll talk about in a second, the correct way to do it. And so if you've ever had your like a testimonial asked for from you and it wasn't a great experience, or it was under a different like preconceived notion of how it was going to be used, and so you gave it, and then when you saw how it was used, it wasn't necessarily something that you'd be proud of or excited to share. We're not going to do that. So there are three super simple ways to just get more, right? And more is not always better. There's such a thing as overwhelming proof, where it becomes just something that it's not helpful, right? Because I can't identify myself in those results or stories, and then therefore I just assume you don't help people like me. That being said, for a lot of people that come to us, they don't act as your friend highlighted, like they've got great results and they've got tons of clients, but they don't have a lot of quote unquote stories and proof of that online. It just happens through referrals, or it happens in a conversation that you don't have control over. And so the whole point of a testimonial, especially a testimonial that's story-based, is that's the story that you have control over. So you can ensure that the message that is being put out there is attracting the right types of people and filtering out all of the wrong people. And so how do we get those, right? So got three like simple strategies. The first, and we like to say, is set the stage early and often. So instead of waiting to the very end, right, set the stage that you are going to help them get an amazing result, right? Whatever it is, lose 100 pounds, gain 10 clients, build your business, quit your job, find your spouse of your dreams. Set the stage that you're going to help them do that. And along the way, you are going to be sharing their story. Because what ends up happening is, in a lot of cases for service providers, the transformation takes time. And so if you wait to the very end, not only are you waiting months, potentially years, you're also distancing yourself from where they were stuck to where they want it to go. And if they get too far away from where they're stuck, their story becomes less potent. Their story, all those things, those words, those phrases, that things that are happening in their mind when they were needing your help are gone because you've helped them. And so the challenge is those things, when they were stuck, the words, the feelings, the mood, like that's where the current stuck people are. And so if they don't remember how they felt because their life has been changed because you did your job, then it's really hard for those stories to connect. So if you set the stage early, and we're talking about literally like on the onboarding process, right? If you've got a client agreement, as you're onboarding your new clients, you're literally setting the stage. Like, we are going to help you get this amazing transformation, and we're going to help share your story to inspire others, that are going to come after you. And so you set the stage early. And then you do not wait to the end, right? So I think we talked about last week, there's two times to ask for, well, there's three, but there's two we're going to talk about to ask for this testimonial. And one is, yes, the big result, but the big result takes time. Big result takes dedication. Big result for a lot of people is intimidating. The second one is the quick result, which is what happens when 2 or 3 weeks into your program or your service or whatever, what is that first marker that they're on the path to that big goal? And that's a great opportunity to actually have the start of the conversation, because they still remember what life was like before hiring you, and they're amped up on what life is like now, already seeing progress a couple of weeks in. So set the stage early and set the stage often. The second one, and this is probably what your friend was alluding to in the office day, Nick, is make it a give, not an ask. This changes the conversation entirely. So how most people approach testimonials is, I need to ask for a testimonial, right? I need to ask for this thing that I want for my business. And somehow I have to convince my clients that this is in their best interest. We flipped the script. Nick, you're a fan of just inverting what people are doing. Mm-hmm. The reality is, like, you flip the script. So instead of, can I get a testimonial? It's, can I share your story? right? Because now it's no longer, can I get a testimonial to sell my business? No, it's, can I share your story to inspire others like you? And what's really cool is when you actually make this a give, people line up for this. Like we have an offer in the parenting space, and actually there's a little bit in the third point we'll talk about it, which is why this works so well. But we have an offer in the parenting space, and so we've started collecting our member stories, and now other members are seeing those stories, reaching out to us and saying, "Hey, when can I share my story? Like, this is amazing that you're talking about, this mom. Like, can I share my story?" Because the way that we're approaching it, it's not, let's go collect member stories as testimonials. It's let's share our members' stories to inspire others like them. And so it's a shift. It's a shift in how you talk about it to your clients. It's a shift in how you present it. It's a shift in how you share the final testimonial. But the difference goes from, I don't have any social proof, or every time I ask, my clients say no, or they ghost me, or I don't know how to ask because it feels slimy. It's like, chances are, if it feels slimy to you, it is slimy to your clients. So how you get around that is don't make it slimy, right? Don't turn your clients into sales, like a sales, we talk about social proof being a sales machine for your business. That's not turning your clients into salespeople for your business. That's a different thing altogether. So that's number 2. The last one is use it to motivate, not just sell. So where people make the mistake with social proof is it's perceived as a vehicle to get more clients. So I need to get more testimonials so I can get more clients. I need to get more testimonials so that I can have proof that I actually help my clients do the things that I promise that I do, right? Because most marketing right now is all promise based, and people can see through that. So good on you for actually wanting to get proof that you actually deliver on the promises. The biggest opportunity to get more is when you use it inside your program, when you use it in your group, when you use it on your Facebook Lives, when you share it on your member portal, when you include it in your teaching. What you are subliminally doing is reaffirming people's decision that A, they made the right decision, and that they're learning through others who have gone before them, which we talk about as the gift of going second. But the biggest thing is they see you featuring all these people, and guess what? They want to raise their hand because they want to be featured too. They want to be celebrated. Most people, especially if you deal with entrepreneurs, most people are siloed. And so we go in these Facebook groups and we go to these conferences once a year or twice a year. We're part of a mastermind. We see each other quarterly, whatever it is. But for the most part, we're pretty siloed. And when you actually use testimonials to motivate, so they're included in your program, and you actually feature people in it, those people become what we like to say is seen and heard, like they matter. And other people who want to be seen and heard, right? The star student, the people who, for a lot of the time, they're just kind of like in their own silo. They want to be featured too. They want to be part of your curriculum. They want to be part of the member stories. They want to be part. It's what we talked about in our parent offer, right? Our parents literally want their stories to be shared because we're using it to motivate. We're not just using it to sell. And so the stories are actually shared in our private member Facebook group. These people have already bought from us. There's nothing else they can buy from us, but we're still including the stories there because it's motivating them to keep going, to become that success story, to see the result that they signed up for, to get past that crappy day when they're tired and they don't want to do the work. Like those are motivating stories. And so really simple, 3 things. 1, set the stage early and often. 2, make it a give, not an ask. And 3, use your testimonials to motivate, not just sell. And if you do those 3 things, guess what? You'll have people lining up, waiting to share their story. That's what I got for you.
Awesome. That was good, man. Good stuff. Love the loop, right? It's something I think that gets missed because we think about, or I guess the way marketing is taught, and it's not the way that my brain works, might just be the way most people work. It's so linear. Like it's so, like you have this line, where you market, you sell, you fulfill, and then like, I guess you just keep fulfilling forever. But the concept of using testimonials inside of your program, right, which there's more client success, therefore more testimonials.
Yeah.
There's a little loop there that compounds. And anybody that knows, and you ever look at like compound interest or done the math, that's where things go, from 1 to 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to, you don't have to serve 10 times the clients to get 10 times the social proof.
Yeah.
And it's just such a powerful concept that I think is missed because, again, I think of the Sam Ovens training and the Dan Henry training, and it's all good stuff, but you just see that linear, like box conversion rate.
Yeah.
And there's all these little loops that create this compounding content or stories.
The people that have the highest success rate for their clients are those that use stories inside their program, because you can teach all day long, but a story contextualizes. A story allows me to see like, oh, it actually is possible. This is not just theory. And so the people who are absolutely like amazing at getting their clients to do the things that the client needs to do to actually see the result are those that are using stories inside their program. It's not, again, motivate, not just sell.
I think that's a big pain. And if you're listening, probably catch this replay. Don't have a ton of people live like normal, but behavior is belief driven, right? So everybody that's so frustrated that I told them what to do and they're not doing it, like you really got to look at this kind of stuff. Like, are you giving them the stories they need, the context they need to facilitate that belief or build up that belief or maintain that belief that they had when they bought?
Yep.
Because if they don't have the belief, they won't change their behavior. If they don't change their behavior, they won't have success. And that doesn't look good for anybody. And so that's a super powerful thing. And again, I think you articulated it well. We want to front load that sales page or that tank page with testimonials. And you don't see them inside of the program often. You really don't see them inside of people's programs, which is crazy to me.
Even just like remove what you, when you hear the word testimonial, like remove those thoughts and feelings, even just using stories of your past clients. So even just saying like, hey, I'm teaching this concept on Facebook ads, right? And just setting up your pixel. Like you can talk about the pixel and it's nerdy and it's like analytical and whatever. Like that's how some people learn, right? And like that's a portion of your audience. But there's also a portion of your audience that's like tell me what the pixel actually does in relation to my store. Oh, well, and then it's really easy to say like, so like, here's an example. Like Susan runs this type of shop and she put a pixel on her website so that, when people don't buy, then Susan can actually retarget them. Like when you contextualize it by like, and now Susan has, been able to lower her customer acquisition cost by 30% because she's retargeting people who have shown interest, whatever it is, right? Like that's an analytical story, but it provides context. And so if you're teaching something and it's theory based and it's complex and it requires a lot of determination and gumption and time, like, as you said, belief, right? Like you got to get them to believe that it's possible. You got to get them to believe that if they just keep going, it'll happen for them. You got to get them to believe that like this is even real. And no matter however many facts, figures, research, PhD, whatever, right? Like that doesn't matter. What matters is stories. And so you weave them together and you actually get people results.
Yeah, I'll steal this real quick, and then I got a question for you, and then we'll hop off. But stealing this from Jack Butcher and Bryant from Trust Accelerator, and they have their 4 lenses. I think you're probably familiar with the analytical, the anthropological, the actionable, and the aspirational. And those are all things like some people do. Like it depends on the mood I'm in. Really, depends on the mood I'm in, the phase I'm in. Sometimes I just want content that says, "Hey, do this." And that gets me moving. Like I believe you know where I'm at.
Yeah.
Sometimes I want the numbers. Sometimes I want the analytics. I don't respond like really well to aspirational stuff, but I know people do. And a lot of that aspirational stuff is stories. I think that's probably the most powerful one. It's where I fall short. I'm not a storyteller, but if you only speak, right, if you're only saying, hey, do this, hey, do this, hey, do this, the actionable stuff, you're missing a large percentage of your clients. Like you're not speaking to them in a way that motivates them. Mm-hmm. And
so the one thing I'll like part with, I suppose, on that is like, if you just have a new program or if you just have a new offer or you don't have a lot of stories, like two things. One, you don't have to use your client stories, right? Like just go look for stories that would help support your actual facts training, whatever. And two, remember, ask early and ask often. Pay attention, because when you're first getting started, if you're new or you're changing your offer, whatever, it's like you're walking people through your process the first couple of times before you've got a bank that you can pull from and talk about. So pay attention to your process at those points where people are raising their hand and giving you an opportunity to make that spotlight on them for the results that they're getting. Right? Again, not the ask, but the give. Because then the next batch of people that come through, you've updated the content, you've increased the contextualization of the theory, and those people are going to get the results, as you said, right? It's the flywheel. The results just get bigger and bigger and bigger, faster and faster and faster. But don't think like you have to have all of this figured out. Like just start with a couple, right? And go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's you can always go back and look at past Social Proof Wednesdays, chock full of ways to do this, softwares to use, things to ask. Justin and Michelle did did some Social Proof for me. They did some done for you stuff. I have not stayed on top of it like I should, but I could tell you that we were, and this is just to say, like, if you don't think Social Proof is high leverage, I can't really imagine where you're at in your business where you don't think that's high leverage. Unless you don't have an offer, then figuring out an offer is probably step one. But if you have an offer and you know what you're going to do, we were running paid traffic, and we have a very sophisticated offer with we have a sophisticated buyer, sophisticated offer. And as soon as you guys did my Social Proof, right, our traffic started working. Not changing anything. Actually, it didn't change anything other than the retargeting ads and the email sequence, the way that using the Social Proof, the way you captured it. We've always had screenshots and stuff. So wherever you're at in business, if you do not think that these stories are important, I would probably disagree with you. And that being said, what did you teach your you guys did a master class? Mm-hmm. Was it this week or last week?
We did one last week on testimonials, which was amazing. And we're doing it again next week. So next Thursday, which I think is the 17th, I believe, 17th or 18th. And so it's a 2-hour. The big thing is we are coursed out. Like we've got tons of courses that are just like collecting dust. And so what we wanted to actually build is something that people would implement. And we've woven stories throughout. It's a 2-hour workshop where we high level go over the entire strategy. But the big thing is you get a implementation kit, which is like 74 pages that step by step tells you or your VA, like you can instantly delegate this, exactly what to do. So there's no like fumbling, getting stuck, not sure what to do, having to find something in a tutorial that, there's 18 hours of, like, none of that stuff. It's 2 hours. You get the high level picture and then you get the action kit. So you can actually, make progress. So the next one is this coming Thursday. It's $397. It's a no-brainer. And then we have a workshop tomorrow. If you are like a local service provider, brick and mortar, or people come to you, we're going to show you how to actually use reviews, primarily Google reviews, and leveraging Google My Business to just get free qualified leads into your door, and just teaching stuff on the review side that no one talks about, but it's literally the difference between just blending into the scene and being that standout service provider or brick and mortar business that people find instantly and then want to hire. So that's tomorrow.
Awesome. So if you're brick and mortar, same website for both. We can get custom links directly to the pages, but if you go to socialproofclub.com, no brainer to me. If you haven't paid Justin, it's $400, pays for itself immediately if you implement. If you're running traffic, it'll pay for itself 10 times over when you implement it, simply because your conversion across the board will improve. Most importantly, your sales, but your opt-ins will improve. The show up rate will improve. It's really, really incredible when you give the gift of going second, as they always say. So socialproofclub.com. I don't know anybody else, and I'm just bragging on you guys for a minute. This model's brilliant. I don't know anybody else that says, here's the high level overview and here are all the action steps for $400. Like, no course, no upsell, no anything other than here, plug this in and make more money.
Yeah.
So great offer. And you guys are awesome. If you drop a comment, if you want to get linked directly to either of the pages, let us know. Hey, I'm brick and mortar. I would love to have a bunch of 5-star reviews and 3 clients a month. Hey, I'm remote and I really need to capture these testimonials. Drop a comment. We'll send you to the appropriate link, but they're both on socialproofclub.com. So if you're listening to this audio, just go to socialproofclub.com. If you're a remote service provider, check out the testimonial workshop. Again, pays for itself a million times over. And I might even argue that if you're a brick and mortar, it's even more important, because brick and mortar have an opportunity to get a bunch of free traffic and none of them are doing it.
Yep.
And that would be the 5-star review workshop.
And if anybody has any questions and you're on Facebook, just, look me up, Justin Demers, send me a message. Happy to answer it.
Awesome. Cool, Justin. Appreciate you. We are going to go dark and jam with anybody that is here on the Zoom with us. That would be Vault members, network members, et cetera, et cetera.